I met up with Fred. First time I met up with him, and I said, you know, I got an idea for a show that I want to do on stocks. And Fred had invested in TheStreet.com, so I knew he was passionate about stocks. I knew he was a backer of Jim Cramer. And I said, what if we did a show like Mad Money and Saturday Night Live, 1 3-minute show a day? And he said, I'm in. So after a year of, you know, foreplay with Fred around social stuff and just leaving comments on his blog and interacting with Fred, he was now investing. And as luck would have it, Fred said, this is a great idea. I'm going to turn it into, you know, I'm going to give you a list of friends to call. So this is where serendipity comes into play. He gives me a list of 10 guys that he thinks would invest in this idea. First on the list, Brad Feld. So I called Brad Feld. This is pre-Super Angel, pre-due diligence, obviously, because I called Brad. I said, hey, Brad, it's Howard Lindzon. Fred Wilson told me to call you. I got an idea for a web video show. He goes, I'm in for 25. I go, well, wow, these VCs are idiots. So I call another guy, Alan Warren. I'm in for 25. Roger Ehrenberg, I don't know these people, I don't care, I'm just pitching on money. Roger Ehrenberg, yeah, I'm in for 50. And these are people that I'm reading their blog, I'm obviously doing research on them. Then I call this guy named Mark Pincus, who is now the founder of Zynga. And I call Mark, and I say, hi, I'm Howard Lindzon. Fred Wilson gave me your number, blah, blah, blah. I give him the idea. He goes, this is the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. And he goes, tell Fred Wilson to stop giving out my phone number. It's a true story. Mark is like my Newman from Seinfeld. So I call Fred, and I go, Fred, thank you. I've raised like 500 grand off your phone list. But there's this guy, Mark Pincus, who's a little pissed that you gave out his phone number. So it's a good lesson that everybody works for somebody, even though Fred is a really powerful guy in the industry, he still answers to his investors, and one of those is Mark Pincus. So Fred goes, don't worry about him. Anyways, a lot of other stories around that, but this is how I networked into the community. And this is how anybody can do this. You're going to find people, and they're going to write something that resonates with you, and you're going to feel like you should send them your pitch the first time they write something. Well, slow down. Don't send that pitch. You don't have the next Google. This is what the problem is with social media. As great a tool and as fully bullish as I am on social media, social leverage, you've got to understand that it is very, very inflationary environment. Picture social media like a Latin American bank in the 1990s where you had to take a wheelbarrow full of cash to go buy a toaster. Okay? That's social media today. I know it's easy, and I know you can push buttons and send messages and reach all these people and retweet and fart and do all these other things that you can do, and poke, like my son does. My son has poked more girls than I ever will. He's 12. I sign in as him sometimes on Facebook. You've got to resist the temptation to just poke and fire and say your idea is the best. You have to understand the word foreplay. You have to just give. This is an inflationary environment. It's a great target-rich environment. You can go find those people, but resist the urge. You need to give. You need to make deposits. Think of social media as a bank, but it's in a bank in Latin America. You better make $1 million worth of deposits to take out $1. You better be careful what you ask for. And you got to build and build and build. And Canadians are much better than that. You guys didn't blow yourselves up. And Americans don't get this. Deposits are more important than withdrawals. So it's going to work much the same as banking. Think of social media like banking. You better make deposits. You're going to need to make withdrawals, but you got to be careful with your withdrawals. Okay? Funny Mark Pincus story, because the other thing is I say that failure is good. I know people are going to come up to me and they're going to say, you know, I got the greatest company, and I found 2 companies here. I'm not going to say their names that I already like, local mines, but the important thing about failure is, I made my friend Brad Feld, who's dumb enough to invest in Wall Street. He made money, Fred Wilson made money, and now I'm in. I'm like the guy. And this goes to social proof too. Now I'm in, I can look at their deals and I can do their deals. And this is a great lesson about social proof. I did a couple deals with Fred. They're not good, I'm not going to name them, no, I'm kidding. But I did a couple deals with Fred, one being Discuss, which I'm a very happy investor in. And I passed, Fred called me on Twitter at, and I was using Twitter, and I would just make fun of Twitter in 2007, and I would say, I would make up all these jokes that I'm peeing here, and this is before Foursquare. All I would say is that I'm peeing at this location, and I'm peeing at that location. And all Fred's friends would call me up and go, you're the funniest guy on Twitter. But I'm not the smartest guy, because I actually would tweet while I was peeing. I mean, didn't know that you didn't really have to be peeing to tweet. So it took me one BlackBerry in the toilet to realize that you can just make up that you're peeing. So Fred called me with my wet BlackBerry that day, and he goes, would you like to invest in Twitter? I go, Twitter owes me $100 fucking for my BlackBerry. And so he sent me the term sheet. Let's just say it was under 20. And I just remember swearing at Fred, saying, you're crazy. I can't see the upside. So I passed. Reason why you don't have to worry if I pass on your deal. Next up from Fred came Foursquare, and I go, Foursquare, I still haven't signed up. Well, I just signed up, so I passed on that at a $2 or $3 million valuation. So again, if you have a great idea...
Zynga!
So the Zynga story. So Mark Pincus, this is the best story of all. So this is social leverage at work. So Mark Pincus kept calling me after I talked about Wall Street, calling me. I said, Mark, he would call me and go, this is the dumbest idea. You got to get 30 editors in Bombay, and you got to do it this way and that way. I go, you haven't even invested. Why are you calling me? And he says, I'm in for 25. And now he'd call me back and yell at me and do stuff. Finally, he says, I'm in for 10K. Never wires the money. So we closed with $590,000. 4 months later, Wall Street is on the front page of New York Times. We've become a little bit of a cult video show, and I'm doing my books, and I realize that there's $10,000 more in the Wall Street account. So I'm yelling at my bookkeeper going, hey, I take pride in us doing no revenue. How do we have $10,000 more than last month? So we do a little back checking, and Mark Pincus smartly wired $10,000 4 months after my closing and was an investor on Wall Street. So I call Fred Wilson, I go, who the fuck is this Mark Pincus guy? Newman. And I go, well, what kind of guy wires money 4 months after I close the deal? No paperwork, no like call that I'm in. Fred goes, I know, he's, Mark. And he goes, you can send back the money, or you can just forget about it. It's just 10 grand. And I was like, Fred, I feel like I want to blow all the money now just to piss him off. It's not healthy. So anyways, long story short, I kept it. We sold the company a few months later. I wired Mark back his returns, and he was always skeptical that I mathed it out right, of course. And he calls me back, within weeks, I'm going to take you for a crepe next time you're in San Francisco. That was a shit idea. I don't know how you made money on it. And so he's like torturing me still. But he goes, if you could turn that piece of shit into something, your next deal, I'm in. It's like Indian poker. So, as luck would have it, the next week I'm in New York and I meet Michael Lazzaro, and it's a whole nother story about social leverage. And we become fast friends, and he goes, I want to leave CBS, I want to start this company around Facebook. And I said, I'm in, 50K. And we named the company, we're at a bar in New York, and it's like a Facebook currency product. I go, you know what, Pincus is in Facebook, I'm going to call Pincus. I pick up the phone, I call Pincus on his cell phone, and he goes, what's up, Lindzon? And I go, blah, 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 I got a Facebook company, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'm in for 250. I go, 250? You only fucking busted my balls over 10 grand. So he hangs up, he goes, mark me down for 250. So I look at Lazzaro, I go, dude, Mark Pincus is in for 250. High five. 2 minutes later, Pincus calls him back. So he goes, I'm sitting with Peter Thiel. He likes it. He's in for 500. I go, fuck you guys. So I just raised my first round. I haven't cashed my Wall Street check, and I've raised $1 million for Buddy Media. So the first board meeting, Michael Lazzaro, we're having a board meeting in New York. Pincus comes in. About 2 minutes into the meeting, he goes, "This is the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. I want my money back." So Lazaro looks at him and I'm looking, I go, "Who the fuck is this Mark Pincus?" "Newman." And so we're out taking a pee. I wasn't tweeting. And Pincus is going, "This is so stupid, this is going to be a zero." And he goes, "I'm going to start a company naming after my dog, call it Zynga." He goes, "You want to invest?" I go, "Fuck you. I hate you." And he goes, "Well, you know, blah, blah, blah." I said, "All right, I'll do it. I haven't cashed my check yet." I go, "I'm in for 100. And he goes, "What do you think's a fair valuation?" I go, "I don't know, same as Buddy Media, 1 on a 2. We'll do 1 million on a 2 million. He goes, "All right, you sure you're in?" I go, "Yeah." And I'm like, hope he doesn't know my number. And so we go out, he doesn't take his money back. He stays in Buddy Media, it's a home run. You know, they just raised money at 100 million. So Mark hasn't thanked me or Peter Thiel, bastards, Newman. And it's a true story, word for word. And wait a minute, I brain fart there. So I get a call a couple months later from Fred Wilson. He goes, "Listen, Pincus says you want in on a Zynga run." I go, "That fucker, I don't like him." He goes, "Well, you know, blah, blah, blah." He said you wanted in. I go, "All right, I'm in for the 100. I said I was in for 100. So I get the term sheet and it's 3 million on 17. So I call Fred, I go, "I'm selling into this round. I'm in at 2. Fred goes, "I don't know, blah, blah, blah." So I go, "This fucking Pincus, I'm not going to do his goddamn Zynga round of 20 million. Tell him to kiss my ass, blah, 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 blah." Anyways, it's a 10 billion now. So, and if you think I'm dumb, you're listening to me. So in the end, thank you. I wish some of this wasn't true, but I don't really have a bad word to say about that fucker Pincus, except he's super smart, and I'm just so happy to be in the game. And I think the lesson here is we're all in the game now. Social media completely levels the playing field. Somehow, I'm the most blocked person on Twitter, but I still have over 100,000 followers. So, you know, you get to stay true to your voice. Remember that your idea isn't the next Google. It should be in your brain, and you should visualize this stuff, and you should write it down, but you got to respect the people that you can touch very easily right now. And so anyways, I think it's a great time, like I said, to be entrepreneur, very bullish, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys after. I guess Dave and I are going to do a session.